We got to this one address. I said, this one goes around back. He went around back, boom, drove off, left them right at the stop.
That was after getting hit by a car.
Wait, you got hit by a car?
I ended up drinking 24 Bud Lights in about 48 minutes. Drunken nomad stumbles out in the road and he hit me going 30 miles an hour.
What's up, everybody, and thank you for joining us on this episode of On the Delivery. This, believe it or not, we just jumped from like episode 5, 6 to 119 or something. But first,
we've been real
before
busy.
Before we explain that lovely voice you guys just heard is my co-host down in West by God, Virginia. Luke, how are you, buddy?
Well, you know what I'm about to say, so all the listeners, I'm just going to give you a little trigger warning. If you are afraid of spiders, you might not want to hear this, but we were about to jump on. Dave was showing me some new stuff with Riverside, things to do video, some awesome stuff we're going to be releasing, so make sure to follow us on the socials if you don't already. But in a nightmare scenario, my basement's unfinished, so kind of weird that this happened, because as we record this, we're a few weeks behind of the release date. But I had a big win today in securing some financial stuff with the house and going to get some things done, and literally closing on that on Monday. So it's kind of funny how that all ties into it. So one of the things, we're going to finish our basement, but this is an old house, spiders unfortunately get in. They're in your house regardless. But when you have an old house and an unfinished basement, sometimes you might see one, like as I'm looking, like I'm in my basement, so the ground's right beside me. And unfortunately, they can wither their way in a stone house, and this big bastard just all legs fucking spread, just slow as could be, coming down fucking with his goddamn web. And I see it and I go, holy shit. I step back, and as soon as that thing hits my laptop, it fucking bolts fast, and I'm just smacking it, I don't even have any shoes on right now. Why I just didn't step on this thing, I don't know, but I'm trying to smack it with my fucking hand, and there it is. Yeah, I sent it to Dave. That thing I'm looking at it right now. I said we were just about to start recording. I'm not getting rid of it. It's fucking staying down here. And
God, that is a monster, bro.
Dude, right?
Look at that thing, dude. What? God, I gotta get it off the screen.
That fucking that was right in front of my face, because I leaned down, because thanks to no matter, he's the greatest moderator in the game and good with sound stuff. So thanks to Dave, I've got some stuff kind of rigged down here because of I want to make sure my voice doesn't carry with with Willow being asleep and everything. And so I kind of normally I lean up. And I'm probably still going to do that eventually, because I'm not going to hold this thing like a weatherman the whole time. But I don't even know what to say. I smacked it, whiffed on it 3 times because it was so fucking fast. And then finally the last time I got it, and thank God I got that thing, because I don't know what I would have done. I don't think we could have recorded, dude. I'd have been looking at I'd have been looking at the ground.
Around, yeah.
Dude. And I would just have to go upstairs and be like, oh, hey, by the way, We got a fucking eight-legged freak size. Shout out to anybody that remembers that movie. David David Arquette. Eight-legged freaks. Dude, that spider. But anyway, the week has been good other than, getting the blood is fucking pumping now. I feel like I could go right back to work right now. I was kind of settled in. We record on the evenings, and now this shit. Dude, I don't even know what the fucking. I'm glad we're doing this segment quick and it just happened so I can get it out. But yes, if I seem a little bit more hyper tonight, just know it isn't caffeine. I'm drinking decaffeinated shit right now as we speak. And if you listen to the previous new episodes, I'm drinking a Fresca. There we go.
Attaboy.
But anyway, brother, yeah, I'm doing good.
Good, man. Good. I've had a decent week back to work as well. Can't complain too much. It's been nice weather-wise.
Oh, that's right. We were both coming off vacation weeks.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, so, I can't complain. But, there wasn't too much. Wasn't too much going on really here. So, but we got a lot to talk about today. Woo! Do we have a lot to talk about?
Yes, we do.
So, guys, strap yourselves in and buckle up and
trying to not look for spiders.
Hang in there. All right. So, oh my goodness, there's a lot here to talk about. We got quite a few notes. So, so let me actually tell this story because this actually just happened this past week. And speaking of strapping yourself in and buckling up, I have a story to tell. So.
Alrighty.
Let's just get into it. So so I was delivering, of course, because that's what we all do, right? I was delivering and I was delivering to a business, and this guy walks in behind me, and he says to me, because just put this fun fact too, I'm one of those drivers that put the seatbelt like over the steering wheel. When I, get out, it's just one of those things. I just take it off and just, put it over the steering wheel like you see some drivers do. And so I walk into this place. This guy behind me comes into and he's like, "Hey, excuse me." And I was like, "Hey, what's up, dude?" And he goes, "Do you put the seatbelt there to remind yourself to put it back on?" And I looked at him and I was like, no, like it's just easier to do it when it's just right there in front of you instead of having to like reach back over your shoulder, and next thing you know, you're wearing, your rotator cuff down and off and shit. So the guy says to me, he's like, "Oh yeah, no, I was just curious because I work for Amazon, and I just it's just one of those." It's just one of those things, and I was just curious if you just do it to remind yourself to put your seatbelt on. So, Luke and I had this great discussion today, and we're going to get into it. So,
dude, I was sitting there, I was thinking, I was waiting for you to say, because I was going to stop you and say, "Who did this guy work for, Dave?" But sorry,
yes.
Go ahead.
Amazon. Yeah. So it made us think. It made us think. When I told Luke this story when we were on the phone this morning, like it just made us think, like, does this guy have an issue remembering to put his seatbelt on? Or does Amazon not care if their drivers wear their seatbelts or not? I mean, let's be honest. We've seen
some examples.
Amazon's drivers. Yeah, I'll just say that. And some of them are a little sketchy. So it makes you wonder. You know.
I feel like all right. I want to say this real quick before, and I'm not going to trail off because I'm looking and I'm seeing episode 119 on this screen, and I want to make sure to say this perfectly clear. We don't have anything against Amazon drivers. There's plenty of you I know that work hard, but for some fucking reason, it just seems like these fuckery stories with driving on sidewalks and getting women walking out barefoot of your trucks and all this crazy. I mean,
you're really creating a bad stereotype.
You really fucking are. I mean, there are some whack fucking videos of Amazon drivers. So, and then Dave has this guy tell him, to ask him if he puts the seatbelt over the steering wheel to remember to put it on. So yes, you're it's just, I mean, I'm not trying to knock word, but it's just like, if it's there, you gotta fucking, anyways, keep going. Keep going.
It's like, buddy, listen, like, it's like, I wanted to tell him, like, I wanted to be like, dude, it's just, it's drilled into our brains as people that work for the company to put it on every time. Like, it's drilled. It is brainwashed into our minds to put that seatbelt on every single time. Am I wrong?
Oh, dude. Yeah. Well, I mean, I just looked to the right, saw that big ass spider again. I was like making sure he's still dead. But no, I think because they have to tell them, I'm sure they have to fucking say something, but it's probably like more of like giving a big wink afterwards. Like, we know we have telematics, and we know that they'll know if we don't have our seatbelt on. And I was telling Dave that aside from all that, there was a video, and I was trying to find it, and it was from a FedEx. I believe it was it could have been a driver, but I believe it was a helper, because I feel like it was somebody in the jump seat that didn't have a seatbelt on, and it was like a sharp turn, and they fucking flew out like you would have a piece of, like, a cup or something would. It was just, and yeah, I mean, obviously you want to have your seatbelt on, but it's just like sometimes, and we discussed this earlier, Dave, and for anybody that hasn't been, because we've been driving pretty much about the same amount of years, but if you're a newer driver, with our company, you probably you never experienced the single strap waist seatbelts with no shoulder strap. And Dave, we were talking about it, dude, they fucking stuck. They were terrible. So now, I feel like they're better than what they were, but to get into the other part, go ahead and say what your dad said, and then I'll follow up with it.
No, yeah. So, like, obviously, if you've been a listener for a while, you know that my dad's a retired UPSer, and 30 years in, 30 years done. And so he was telling me a story, like, back in the day, like, during the holiday time, sometimes people would just let their helpers ride in the back of the package car and just start sorting boxes, start putting boxes in order as we're driving to the next stop. And it was crazy. And like Luke's like, yeah, Wild West days back then, and it's wild. It's very wild to think about, compared to like now, and like how we're trained now to do things.
And then I had to follow up with saying, because of another person, if you listen to the old episodes, he never was a guest on the podcast. I would love to have him on, even though he's not quite I know he's not disgruntled with work anymore because he's been retired, but disgruntled Doug, when I first helped him, and I told Dave, I said, I feel like that was like my first year. Telematics wasn't in, like, it was before all that. So I feel like it might have been 2007 or 2008, but we did, like, the first year that I helped him, we did that. We sorted, like, it's not like Doug wasn't going like 55. We weren't on a main road where I'm just fucking in the back of the truck sorting shit. Like, we were on like residential roads going not that fast, but still, not. But that was, I told Dave that, I said, the funny thing is, it was like the next year or something, whenever telematics first fucking got in, and like, I said, I could just remember Doug fucking bitching about, like, yeah, you can't fucking, you're not going to be able to drive by, make sure you have your seatbelt on, and can't have the bulkhead door open. Oh, this bullshit, just fucking. bitching about it, and I was fucking sitting there like, well, yeah, why? Why do I have to wear a seatbelt? Why can't we just do it? We're fucking, and it's just like, when you think about it, it's like, it's fucking crazy. But I'm sure there was probably some other people that did it a little bit more extreme than we did. But for the most part, I didn't do it like, it wasn't even a daily thing, but there was a couple times when we were like heavy, I remember. And that's why I feel like it might have been my second year with him, not the first. So I feel like it was probably maybe even 2009. I forget when telematics popped in, but yeah, it was, yeah, there's probably some wild stories out there, but yeah, I can say
hell yeah.
But Doug's retired, so you can't get him. I guess they could still get me. I'm just incriminating myself. I was just a helpless helper. A helpless helper.
helpless helper.
Helpless helper. There you go. Helpless helper. That could be a fucking new term. We used to have, what's your favorite stories? Who was your most helpless helper?
Dude, I forgot about favorite helper stories. Fuck. God, there's some good ones. Oh man.
Well,
sorry.
the thing
we could get lost on that one.
Well, the thing with that too is that we like COVID kind of happened as well, and then we didn't have and then PBDs. I feel like we've moved people. I don't feel like helpers are used as much as they used to be. So I feel like that we're not the news story. Yeah, so we're going to have to always remember the gems of the past. There was some good ones.
Yes. So, yeah, good times, huh? Back in the day, COVID days. Hey, let's be honest here for a second. If it wasn't for COVID, this would not be happening. I don't even know if we would have even met each other if it wasn't for COVID.
we had met each other before COVID. It just wasn't very. I mean, we had met each other. Well,
just
right before. Yeah, before COVID. Like probably because I got on Instagram in 2018, so I knew Bobby was the first person I remember because I saw him on Facebook, and then I hadn't made. So yeah, it was probably early 2020. God, like right before fucking COVID. What a fucking wild time. What a wild time to think where we're at now. Still fucking
heck yeah.
119 episodes in on actually like feeling more at peace now with everything, as we just brought up with Bobby and everything, and everything being squared away, starting it. I'm glad we're fucking doing it again. So everybody listening out there, we appreciate it because we do it for the people that have tuned in, and it's always it's been fun, and we're gonna get some more. We might have a famous quote unquote guest on pretty soon. To not give you any spoilers, but all of our guests are special in our hearts, and we're going to have some former ones and some new ones come on. So yeah, everybody, as long as we kind of said it with the returning episode, so I don't want to get too much into it. The schedule, we're going to try to not put the pressure on ourselves like we did prior, but I feel good moving forward. And he's right.
Hell yeah.
COVID fucking as fucking shitty as a lot of things did, it fucking gave birth to the All in the Delivery podcast.
Fucking right. So as Luke mentioned, just obviously, and as I mentioned at the top, episode 119, we went from episode 6 to episode 119. And here's why. So like Luke and I were talking because obviously just before the hiatus, we tried like a rebranding kind of thing, if you want to call it that, and changed the name of the podcast and all that. And I don't know where I was going with that one. And so sorry, let me get back here. Rewind. We changed the name of the podcast, tried the rebranding thing, and we realized that probably wasn't the best idea. And know, I'll own up to it, and say, it wasn't, because how we were just talking about how this started and how we started as all in the delivery. It's because
I feel like we lost touch with what you know what I mean?
Exactly, with our roots, if you will.
Right.
So all of the old episodes, when we took the hiatus, a lot of them disappeared. A lot of them were no longer being, you weren't able to find them anymore. And so I did some deep searching on the World Wide Web, and I ended up finding out that the program that we use, the company that we use to host the All in the Delivery, they keep like a cloud storage of past episodes. And so I texted Luke and I was like, holy shit, we might be able to get the episodes back. And then, so we discussed it and was like, it is a part of the history, obviously, of this podcast. And it would be awesome if we can get it back, if we can get them back, because all the guests we've had on, all of the topics, questions of the week, it's just, there's so much, and it was such a fun time with everybody, and and we really cherished all of those moments
absolutely
on previous episodes. And so it was like a no-brainer for us to try and get them back, and we're thankful we were able to get them back. So if you're new here, you have a lot of episodes to catch up on.
Yeah, you got a lot of content to go, because I feel like,
a lot of content.
I mean, we and then to see the number, it's like crazy, because I mean, and to be in a technical term, because there was a couple that we did remove, so technically we are into 120s, maybe not officially, but we did. The only one I'll say of that, that we did remove was the last episode that we did before the hiatus, because it was kind of explaining why, and we ended up, so that one. Other than that, though, you have pretty much, I mean, of all the guests we had
full library,
full fucking library, man, and it is
hell yeah.
It's crazy, because I found I listened to the very first episode the other day once we uploaded them, because I always listen to that, because I always I don't even really listen to the episode anymore. I just listen to try to catch all the background noise I had, because I was in my living room with the TV on and I mean, I know I've told that story multiple times at this point. So yeah, there's a lot. And the crazy thing is I don't hear it, like, I don't hear it that bad. Like the last time I listened to it, I mean, I just listened to it recently, because obviously you just did this.
Yeah.
And the background noise wasn't that bad. I mean, it was there, but considering
Ashley was on the phone or something, like
Ashley was on the phone on speakerphone. My dog, always being annoying as he was, probably because Walt, God bless him, was still alive back then, so Walt would get him fucking riled up. Like, I feel like I heard a dog bark here and there, but the TV was on, Ashley was in there, and I was like, yeah, it was just like I was in my living room. I wasn't in a fucking place to where it would be good to not have much sound, or at least I could have turned the fucking TV off. But yeah, it wasn't, the background noise wasn't that bad, unless I don't know, I might have just been on some shitty ass bumpy roads and not heard it as much, because when I get on some of my back roads, that noise takes over everything.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, we, like we just said, we are, we're very thankful that we could get these episodes back up and available for everyone, because even when I was able to contact, and I was on like support, I was with a support team I was contacting the support team of the hosting program and to get the episodes back, and they were able to get them all for us. And when it happened, like, I got a notification on my phone that said, like, you know, On the Delivery has uploaded 111 episodes or whatever the total was. And I told Luke this too, and I said that, and I like went like at that moment, I was like, holy shit, like this is crazy. And not gonna lie, like I got a little emotional like thinking about it because of all of the memories that we have recording. And then I started scrolling through all the episodes. I'm seeing all of the past guest names on there, and just how thankful I guess we are to have the type of community that we have with, if you want to call it the cardboard community, you know, and
yeah,
really
absolutely.
just how awesome everybody is.
Like, and that's why I was trying to not like shit on the Amazon drivers too bad because of that. But it's still, like I said, when you just see the funny shit, and it's hard not. I feel like it sucks for them because it's not really them. I think everybody just doesn't like Jeff Bezos and the way that they fucking treat people there, and I feel like they just get fucking because you just look at them like, oh, you work for fucking Amazon. But it's I mean, it's like we work for a corporation too, so I don't know. Jeff Bezos and Carol, what? There's a duo for you.
There it is. But yeah, so episode 119, we are now officially picking up where we left off.
Yeah.
And we're excited for it. So we're here for it. I hope you guys stick along for the ride too, as long as we are. So let's keep it rolling. All right. Next up on the dock, huh? Oh, man. So for any of you guys that love music like Luke and I do, obviously music's a big part of both of our lives.
Big time.
You've heard us talk about it and all that, and more a specific band. So Linkin Park. Okay, Linkin Park, if you're a fan of that style of music, if you're a fan of Linkin Park, you probably have already heard that they have now released the news saying that they're coming out with a new album that's going to be released in November. And they also have a new singer as well. Singer/screamer, if you will. And that is the female vocalist Emily Armstrong, who is a vocalist for the band called Dead Sarah. Now, I never heard of Dead Sarah before. The name's never crossed my playlist, I don't think. So they ended up putting on a live show recently, and to basically introduce her to their fans and all that stuff. And so what ended up happening, because it's like Linkin Park to me, growing up and being in a band as well, like Chester Bennington was a huge influence to me when it comes to like his screaming and all that. And like I used to watch the Linkin Park Live in Texas DVD like on repeat over and over and over again. And being, I don't know how old I was, 20 maybe, 19, just screaming like all of the lyrics, like watching his like technique, his body language, like all that stuff, and really like focusing, like, you know, honing down on that one. And so Chester is like I said, he's a big, huge influence to me. Like I feel very passionate about, you know, that him, and it was devastating when I heard the news that, you know, he ended up committing suicide. So now Chester getting replaced, it's I shouldn't have worded it like that. It's like there. So this is how I feel, and I'll let you chime in too, Luke. So hearing her sing the old songs, like off of their Meteora album, off of their Hybrid Theory album, like their first 2 albums that they put out, to me, I think were their best albums. And then
Agreed.
they started, and then throughout the years, they started changing their sound and adapting to more of a, if you want to call it a radio worthy sound,
Agreed,
and which I mean, it's not bad. Like, I enjoyed still a lot of their newer stuff as well. And even on their last album that they recorded with Chester, there's quite a few good songs on there as well. And so, but hearing Emily Armstrong sing any of the songs off of Hybrid Theory and Meteora, it just doesn't do it for me. It just doesn't do it for me, because those are the songs I've heard forever. You know what I mean? Like, since the beginning. And just the way Chester was so passionate with his vocals and his lyrics and his sound, his screams were very unique, very unique. And like, he mastered that, like, raspiness where, like, he can sing and, it would be like right on the threshold of singing and screaming. It's just, dude, and like seeing her perform those older songs, it just didn't sit right with me. But with that said, their newer stuff, like their newer albums after those first 2, I don't mind it as much with her. You know what I mean? Like, I think it fits nice. But like hearing her screaming in like Paper Cut, or like any of those older songs, dude, it's just, gosh. I mean, she's good at it, yeah. You know what I mean? She's very good at it. Like for what it is, like she can do it. But it just still does not sit right with me with those older songs, because those are the songs I grew up with, hearing Chester's voice,
Well, I would say, personally, because I'm not as big of a Linkin Park fan as you are, but I do think they're very good. And I will always say that Hybrid Theory I don't feel like there's a lot of fucking albums out there, and I'm always going to say albums. I know we don't fucking, because it's the download world now, whatever you want to say. I feel like they still say albums, but
track list,
whatever. I'm always going to fucking leave it as is. But Hybrid Theory is one of those ones that if you can play something from start to finish and not like skip over one fucking song. I've always said that's ultra rare, and I think Hybrid Theory is one of those fucking. So I think Linkin Park's very good, but for you, I would say, because he was such a big influence on how you do. I mean, you're going to have him on a pedestal, but for me, outside, I told you I was going to probably, we would agree. I don't feel like that video you sent me. It just, like, I was always a big Alice in Chains fan, and it wasn't from suicide, but Lane Staley, he overdosed, and he passed away, and the replacement, the guy sounds very much like Lane. I mean, I'm not going to say he doesn't sound just like him, but it's very similar, and I feel like it's hard to, I mean, dude, other than two bands I think of off the top of my head, AC/DC, Van Halen. There's not a lot. I feel like when you try to replace a singer, now obviously Chester, he's, unfortunately he's no longer with us, so they can't. It's not like when somebody's gone, then it's like, I don't, like what you said, it doesn't feel like the right word to say because they're gone.
Right.
It's not like Van Halen replaced.
It's not like you're kicked out. It's not like you're kicked out.
Dude. It wasn't like Sammy Hagar and David Lee Roth are still alive. You know what I mean? So it's not the same. Yeah. I don't want to say it's the same comparison, but I feel like she's good, but I feel like there's certain parts, like if you can't, man, I don't know. I haven't heard her enough to really give that accurate of a judgment, but just from that video you sent me and all this stuff, I remember, listening to Chester on the early albums, because that's when I listened to the most. I didn't listen to a lot of their newer stuff, but it's like, if you can't match that, then don't try to match it. Just do what you're capable of and comfortable with, and don't feel like you have to be him, because you're never going to be him.
Of course,
you're not going to replace.
Of course,
guy,
and
that's
I
just
hope
like
she
that.
Doesn't feel that way.
Yeah,
like I hope she doesn't feel that way.
Yeah, when somebody's going like that, I forget the dude that replaced Lane Staley, but you're never going to be Lane Staley. There's only one, the original, and it's the same. Like, it's crazy because I said AC/DC, and the only thing I'll say is, like, Bon Scott, he passed, he had passed away, the original singer, but Brian Johnson, I'd say in all those scenarios, but except Brian Johnson, because I think, the raspy voice and the live, like Back in Black and all that, man, it's hard for me not to say Brian Johnson wasn't better than Bon Scott, but that's a whole nother debate for another time. But I think, I think that's my personal opinion. I feel like, for somebody, for somebody I'm diehard with, like, and, like, I'll just say, like, Metallica. I've been a lifelong Metallica fan, and, like, James Hetfield, it would be like, just, I don't know, man. It would be like if somebody would replace him and try to sound and be like, if it's just the way, but see, that's what he was so fucking unique, though. I don't think there wasn't really anybody. I can't really. Brian Johnson screamed, but it wasn't the same.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, that's a hard. Dude, I don't know. I know that's going to be an unfulfilling answer, but that's hard to.
No, but I know what you're saying, though. Like, Chester's one of those ones that really. I said it before. Like, he mastered that technique that is right on the threshold of being able to sing and scream together. Like, it is like.
I feel like there's been people after him that can sound similar
now,
because he's that one. Like, I feel like they all were influenced by him. Yeah,
because Hybrid Theory came out in 2006, maybe.
Oh no, it's older than that, man. I was in high school when Hybrid Theory came out.
Okay, it was October of 2000. Sorry, October of 2000.
I do that. That was like, that sounds better.
You think literally in the millennium? Okay, you think 2000? Like, I can't even think of any other like bands that were like doing that.
No, there wasn't, man. They were the first, and they really had their own style between the hip hop and the alternative rock. Mm-hmm. So, God, they did really fucking come on to say, man, it's crazy that was 2000, because I'm one of them people. I'm like, oh yeah, 2000 was 6 years ago. Nope, it was almost 25 years ago. Right. And then you think about other people in that like genre too. You got like the Beastie Boys. Obviously, classics, right? With the hip hop and the rock. Limp Bizkit was around then. Rage Against the Machine, I always thought. Rage Against the Machine. They were in the way their sound was, but man, but nobody had that scream. No, singing mix like Chester. Not did, like Chester did. Like Zach De La Rocca, Rage Against the Machine's lead singer. Like, he could do some, but not anywhere near that level that Chester could. Right. Yeah, like he couldn't. Man, he could. Yeah, that dude was so fucking unique, man. There was and for the longest time, because obviously that was in 2000, and I'm in high school. This is like. Well, Napster was already come and gone, but what else was there? Like LimeWire, whatever. LimeWire. CDs still, and burning CDs and shit. And I thought that I was so fucking green. I thought they were both the same singer. I didn't even realize there was two. I was like, this guy sounds. He's like, I thought Chester was doing both.
God. But yeah, so I'll give it a chance. I think obviously as they release new music, you'll really be able to I think I'll enjoy it. Cuz I mean they already released a new song off of the album, and honestly, I don't mind it. Like, it's good. It's just so hard to separate like old Linkin Park with this day and age Linkin Park with a new vocalist singing those old songs.
Yeah, man. It'll never be.
That's where it's hard for me to like separate it in my head.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you just gotta. I don't feel like you have to. It's like you just gotta accept that it won't be the same. Because unfortunately, with me, I mean, this, Scott. You're a musician. I love music. I mean, I played a little saxophone, but I'm not a musician like you are. But like in bands, you can find. I mean, obviously, there are better guitarists than others, but there are a lot of extremely talented guitarists and drummers out there and stuff. Like you can it's like you can replace bass players and drummers and guitarists. Now they might not be quite as good, but it's hard to replace somebody that's behind the mic, man. It's just
like that was the sound of
man.
Linkin Park. Like like he was the sound. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, but here's to I hope Linkin Park does well with it, and I do think they will. They will change, they will adapt. That's what they've been known to do. Like I was saying at the beginning of the segment, like they've changed their sound over the years, to adapt to what's like I said, radio worthy, I guess would be the right word. But so we will see. We will have to wait and see when November comes around. Stay tuned for that episode that we release in November when I listen to the album, and we'll give our feedback. So, yeah, man.
There was one more thing I wanted to mention before we got into the question of the week, because I'm not going to go too into it because we were this has been a couple weeks by, and this is more for something else. Well, I'll just get into it. There was this is going to take a grim turn for a minute, but this was something that, unfortunately, when we were talking about being in an election year and stuff, there would be issues that would happen that I feel like would need to be addressed. And unfortunately, to say it like this is something that has become, as this comes out, there'll be a couple weeks since this that happened. But there was a school shooting at a Georgia middle school. I believe it was a middle school where 4 people, 2 teachers and 2 students passed away. And I just wanted to say something with that, because I don't like to get involved on social media anymore with it, because I've always been a pro. Now I say I'm a pro gun person, but I also, if you speak to me and allow, this is my platform to do it. I think a lot of people, a lot of activists, if you will, I'm not far against you like you may think I am. And I want to this being an election year, I want to address this, because I don't want to bring up, you hear the same stuff all the time, and I don't want to say regurgitated all the time, because I don't want to minimize these events, but unfortunately a lot of them have occurred over time. Mm-hmm. And you being in an election year, you will have people immediately always point to, we got two political parties, and one will point towards one way and the other will point the other. But I'll just say this: I started collecting. I said I was a pro gun guy. When I started messing around with guns, ARs were still banned. There was a ban on ARs from '95 till 2005. So I never really to this day, I've never bought one, and I'm not against them because they've been legal for almost 20 years now, and if people legally buy them, I have plenty of friends that do own them, and they will, sit. They're not, but I can't. With as far as that debate, I'll just get this out because I know anybody listening, this is always a sensitive topic. I think if the government gets pushed too far, I don't have a dog in that fight because I don't own an AR. So if they would want to put a ban on it, I'm not going to say disagree with it. I don't think it would work. I think there's too many in circulation and it's been too long, and there's other guns. This is where it would not. It's just they're high capacity weapons and they do more damage than say a shotgun or a pistol would in the same situation. So you can regurgitate and we can fight on this. And the fucking funny thing to say, of all the presidents, so Bill Clinton did that in '95. So we've had George Bush, Barack Obama, and Joe Biden, and Donald Trump. And of all of those presidents, the only fucking president of all those, believe it or not, that have actually moved any type of gun legislation was Donald fucking Trump. And that was when they banned bump stocks after that Las Vegas shooting. And that was really, I think that might have been the worst one to date, to be honest with you. But I just want to say this real quick. I think no matter what, Republicans or Democrats, safer gun laws, I'm not against stricter gun laws like I said, but I'm also one of those people, like I have a 9mm, a 12 gauge, like I'm one of those people in that regard where I'm like, I'm not giving up my I'm one of those. I'm hardcore on that end, but with reasonable gun laws, I will always listen to military-style weapons. If they would want to put, this is like I said, I don't want to go back to it, but if you say you slap another 10-year ban on these things, and you go, if a shooting happens, I'll just use this math real quick just to prove what I was saying earlier. Instead of 50 people with a high-capacity AR that get injured or killed, it might be 10. But the problem is still there, and it's not. You're never going to get rid of there's too much. It's just like everything else. It's become political to a point, just like abortions, just like everything else, to where they can grasp one side. Corporations, the money's involved. You're never going to. They'll spin their wheels about this constantly. So why not just agree that nobody wants to have dead fucking students and teachers, and try to do some proactive measures that funding. God damn, I mean, you would think they could at least put off, if we can fund fucking wars we're not fighting in. We could throw some fucking money to get, say what you want to about Alabama, but there are classrooms in Alabama that have those. I told Dave, I was like, you pull them out, they're like makeshift bomb shelters, and it's fucking sad that's what it's come to. I don't like that, but that's a measure that every school, we talked about this prior with metal detectors. There's shit that they could put in every fucking school right now and start to at least try to prevent. My fucking grandfather, he was a lifelong police officer, and he used to say, my grandmother told me that she would always lock her doors and do stuff. She said, if burglars want to come in, they're gonna get in, but you just want to make it as hard as you possibly can to get them to fucking. So why not just agree to try to make some measures? The gun laws, let Congress, that shit, let it get passed when it's going to get passed. But you're never going to get rid of. You're not going to be able to wave a magic wand and get rid of guns completely. If you want to ban ARs, that we can ban them, but it's not going to stop the fucking, because there's just shit that there's little things they could fucking do to try to fix this problem the best they can. I don't know. It's but you can't use that argument because it doesn't fit the agendas of either side. Both sides are wrong in this. The fucking people that try to say that AR-15s, there's people, there are people that I know that I'm friends with Facebook on, like when shit like this happens, they'll put like a golf club up and say, look, if I use this is an assault weapon. It's an assault golf club. And I fucking cannot fucking stand that. One, you shouldn't put shit like that, anything fucking like that up after something like this. But you're not going to kill 50 people with a fucking golf club. So the people that try to say shit like that are idiots. I'm sorry, you're fucking idiots. If that makes you mad, like I said, both sides get so dug in.
Like I can pick up a rock and I can kill someone with this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But you're not like, I fucking, but it just, but at the same time, people that are like, this is why we have to ban all, you're not, this, unfortunately for those fucking, for the hardcore gun activists, this fucking country was founded on the fucking, I mean, the Second Amendment is the Second Amendment. Now, there wasn't military-style weapons back then, and it was about militias. Trust me, I know all that. I understand it. But you can get into, like, they can just try to prevent casualty until Congress can fucking do it. Like I said, if they ban it, it's not going to, and that's what I worry about. Like I think they've got to a point. I'll just say this, and I'm not going to get too much further into it. When Sandy Hook shooting happened, I thought, okay, that was the elementary school. That was probably 12 years ago, I think. I thought that would be the one that would push the ban back through, because I always, like I said, ARs were banned when I started messing around with guns, so I just always kind of waited for that to pass again. But at this point, like I said, I'm not going to keep spinning the wheels, because there's people that there's just too many in circulation at this point, and to ban them and think it's going to fix everything is just fucking naive. And I love my fucking daughter. Dave loves his sons. Everybody loves their kids. I think no matter what, we can agree to there should be an immediate action taken to try to have, and it's going to, if this, we'll see where we're at in a year from now. Maybe there will be some, but I don't know what the fuck to say I feel like, we can absolutely change laws and do all that, but I think united, everybody would agree that nobody wants to see anybody get hurt, and we can fucking use money to get some things into place. Rather it would be a fucking armed guards, metal detectors, these fucking makeshift fucking things, that whatever it is, I don't know, just something. But man, I could go on about it, and the only thing I'm going to end on it with, because we were talking about kind of driver safety, and I want to bring this up right. I'll be bringing it up a lot till it happens. With anybody that was a driver when Frank Ordonez was killed, that was 5 years ago, this December 5th. And for anybody that doesn't know Frank's story, I mean, I'm sure you can look it up, but to give you the gist of it, he was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and he got taken hostage, and it ended in a shootout with the police, with the people that took him hostage, and he was killed. And he had two daughters, I believe. I'll have to look into that. But anyway, we just started talking about driver safety, and I just wanted to say that in regards to try to make preventative measures with the school shootings and public shootings anywhere. But that always comes to mind too, because anybody that remembers that, if you watch the video, it was a police chase. It was, we wanted to try when it happened. That was right before we started the podcast. That happened right before COVID. And I'm going to try to, we're going to try to figure something out for the 5 year the day of remembrance, or try to get anybody who wants to participate, try to have some ideas or want to spread the word. I spoke to his brother years ago, and I'd like to get back in touch with him to see how his kids are doing. But I just wanted to end that with bringing awareness, and I'll be bringing it up every few episodes here with Frank. I mean, until it would come to try to spread something for the 5-year day.
Definitely. Well said.
Sorry, man. I know that was a lot. I know I just unloaded a lot there, but I'd been and I was already kind of amped, and then obviously that big ass spider fucking scaring the shit out of me before I was amped. I might have, if I kept rolling, I'm sorry, but yeah, I was already fucking.
Hey man, you got stuff to say, and that's what people are here for. So,
absolutely.
Let's get into the question of the week, shall we?
We shall.
Here we go. The question of the week this week is, what's the craziest thing you've seen or happen during a delivery? Let's see what some people have to say, shall we? Because I have not seen anything yet. So, here we go. This one's from past guest now, Chelsea at Mindfully Me, says, I wouldn't say crazy, but definitely questionable. Can we talk about the Amazon? Boy, here we go with Amazon drivers. Can we talk about the Amazon drivers that speed around curves like they just got caught doing the dirty with their best friend's wife, with the side door wide open, sprinkling packages all over the road like a man with morning wood who didn't lift the toilet seat?
Oh, that's a good one.
That's good.
Shit, what an analogy. That's a good one.
That's good.
What's it, Chelsea?
This one's from Cam Sawa. Sawa says, one late Saturday night in 2017, I had a signature required for a house that was obviously having a party. Halfway down the driveway, I could smell the smell of alcohol coming from the backyard and could hear the roar of people. So I knew that's where my sign would be at, or my signature. Maybe he meant to say that's where my sig would be at. As I come around the corner, a lady yelled at me, "There he is!" I said, "Here I am. I got one for Jackie. Is she home?" Some dude asked me if I wanted a beer and wanted to chill out, and said she just went inside. I said, "No way, man. I just got to get the sign for." And then some lady came out of the house and asked, "Are you the stripper or for real?" I replied, "I'm for real. Just got one for Jackie. Here, sign this for me, please." There was some awkward laughter for a second. I got the dyad back and I got the hell out of there. Put two and two together and realized that party was about to get nuts.
Oh shit, dude! Fucking thought he was the stripper, man. I could have went fucking south.
So I mean, I kind of have something similar, but not like to that extent. But one time when I was delivering, there was a bunch of cars outside of this house, and it must have been filled with ladies. And as soon as I was walking up to the door, the windows were open, and I actually heard somebody inside was like, "Oh, the stripper is here," or something like that. But really, it was just, the UPS guy. But so that's funny, Cam. This one here, Swollen Gorilla. What's up, buddy? Long time no see.
Swollen Gorilla.
This one's from Swollen Gorilla. I love saying that name. He says, a standoff was pretty neat, and that time a couple was having sex with ants. Hold up a second.
Wow.
I didn't even finish reading it. Standoff was pretty neat. And that time a couple was having sex while answering the door for a signature required. That was interesting. Like they couldn't stop for a minute or just not answer the door.
It must have been important, but not important enough to not remove insertion.
I mean, fuck.
That's a fucking
what?
man. He's seen some shit, dude. He's seen a standoff, and that was now we got that must have been a while ago, because now they would just be like, all signatures, just drop it and leave. Actually, that's not true. I guess we still have signatures.
They would like come on the doorbell and be like, access point. No, like they would just like go on the doorbell now and be like, yeah, just leave it there. And then, you wouldn't know what they were doing. But come into the door while mid insertion, like you said.
That's fucking, that's pretty awesome.
Goddamn. Here we go. Next one from our one and only DHL driver listener, Rick Star. Rick, what's up, Rick? Rick says, wild police chase. Yes.
That'd be something to see. I was in front of one. I wasn't behind one, but I got this. I didn't really get to see it.
I don't think I ever told this story, but I actually had one too one time, where I was sitting at a red light, and the guy that was on the other side of the red light was sitting there as well, and I could see him like looking at me, and he's pointing like behind me, like he's just like, just pointing like erratically, almost just like, hey, just trying to get my attention kind of thing, right? And then my 5 to 8 seconds of looking in my mirror was just about to expire, so I was gonna look in my mirror again, right? and so I look in my side mirror. Sure as shit, here comes a car just barreling down 32 over here, and I was like, holy shit. And then you see all the lights behind this car too, like right behind him and shit. And then like in that split second, I had a moment where I was like, I could turn this truck sideways in the middle of the road real quick,
right?
And I could put an end to this and be the hero. But I was, obviously you're like, holy fuck, I gotta get that out of the way,
right?
So just pulled off to the side and just like, just cars just flying by, But yeah, wild police chase. Good times. All right, sorry. Next time. The next one is from our good friend RJ at Porno Parcel. Says, well, I've shared this one on one of your episodes, but I'll tell it again. When I was a cover driver, I was delivering late at night in the middle of the desert. I get down to the last street and delivered to a house with 2 missing address numbers. I went to the door, knocked, and a man rushed from behind his garage and pointed a shotgun at me. I yelled, UPS! And I'll never forget this customer's words. He says, holy shit, I'm sorry, man. I thought you were a cop.
Yeah, good thing he had on brown.
Fuck. Seriously.
Right.
What? This dude came running around the house with a shotgun, ready to point it at a cop. Like, fuck. Next one here is from GirlDad8704, Ernie.
What up, Ernie?
What's up, Ernie? Ernie says, a house on my first route was a cartel house. Got busted. Cops found more than a few RPGs.
Damn.
Fuck.
That was
fucking California.
Yeah, and you know what? They probably would have let you come in there to take a piss. He probably sorry, just to say, for any new listeners, Ernie Martinez is a unicorn UPS driver that does not use piss bottles. God bless him. So that's sorry, Ernie.
This next one is from my favorite name to say ever on this podcast. That dude Luke and me says, I was covering a mall route one day, emptied a cartload of packages, and decided to stop by a jewelry store in the mall to do their pickup on my way to the truck for a second cartload. Just as I walked into the jewelry store, oh no, 2 guys started smashing showcases with mini sledgehammers. I looked over at the manager and with a chuckle asked if she was being robbed. She immediately said, shut up. And after I saw the panic on her face, I realized what a dumb question it was. Fuck's sake. I then heard more glass breaking farther down the mall and screams. It lasted maybe 45 seconds, and a couple other guys wearing masks ran past, and the two in the jewelry store ran out too. Needless to say, my on-road told me to EC the rest of the mall and get the hell out of there. Actually glad I went to the jewelry store before my truck, because it sounds like their getaway car was parked at the loading door that my truck was.
Oh, shit. Oh, fuck, man. That, sorry, I was laughing at the, are you getting robbed comment? But I'm sorry to laugh at that, because, man, we were just talking about that wrong place, wrong time, so I don't want to make it too, but, man, that, I'm glad he fucking told you to get out of there. Dude, I don't know, sledgehammers. I carry brass knuckles on me.
Right? It's surprising.
I feel like
that the supervisor was like, get the fuck out of there.
I mean, Dusty, shout out to old bald bearded bastard.
You can't finish the rest of your stops? What, do you got 10 stops left in the mall? You can't finish the last 10 stops?
Dusty had a chunk of his leg ripped out. That supervisor, I bet his supervisor, whoever that was, I bet they would have said, are they, he probably would have been like, well, are they done smashing shit? Are they out of there now? Sorry.
Did they leave?
God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, go finish. Oh, fuck.
Just shoot
this one here is from.
God. Sorry.
This one here is from Ruger54. What up, Ruger? New listener? Question mark. Ruger54, new listener.
Maybe.
What's his name? Derek. Hello, Derek. Thank you for listening, buddy, and chiming in here on the question of the week. Derek says, I accidentally misdelivered a mattress to a trailer in a trailer park one time. The office messaged me about 2 hours later and asked to go back and fix it. I got back to the trailer, and it's like a scene out of Jerry Springer. The poor girl that lived there had locked herself in her house because the people the box belonged to were told by the office where I misdelivered their package, and were there threatening her. Imagine the most trailer trash people you can imagine, and these people were it. I finally got them to shut up. And I went and knocked on the door and got the mattress back. When I met the people back at the correct trailer, they proceeded to call me every name you can imagine about being stupid.
Well, I can say, surprise. Don't stereotype me too bad, but I've delivered to plenty of trailer parks. And I can say that I'm not shocked they were pissed, because for some reason, man, there just seems to be fucking feuds at the trailer parks, man. And I don't understand, because the close quarters you're living in, why the fuck are you going to... Yeah, I get it.
It's like, what are you doing down here on my loop? This is my loop. This is my cul-de-sac.
But then, like, at the same time, though, there's other ones I've delivered to where everybody's been nice, but there are some... Yeah. But, I mean, I feel like most have been nice to me, but I've seen shit explode, too. So that's, I get it. That's a bad one.
I have bad luck in trailer parks. I always get told to slow down, but I'm not going that fast, man. It just sounds like I'm going fast.
That and the numbers never seem to be right ever, but, you know.
Fuck no.
Yeah, that's a fucking nationwide problem.
Exactly. Next one here is from our past guest last week. Or not last week, 2 weeks ago, sorry. And husband of wife that just chimed in, old bald bearded bastard, Dusty. Dusty says, about a month after I got my route in 2015, I had a drug bust happen right beside me. As I got back in the truck, I saw a sheriff following a van, and they pulled them over across the street. Someone ran across the street with a gun and ripped the driver out, and the sheriff ripped out the passenger. They yelled at me not to move until they got everything under control, so I got to watch the whole thing. The following year, they busted 11 meth houses in that area. Goddamn.
Damn, that's a lot of meth houses.
Fucking right. Last but not least, this one here is from Miller Gang. What's up, buddy? Miller Gang says, nothing too crazy, just the normal naked guy always feels like he needs to answer the door with his dick out. shake my head.
Man, and I was laughing because I saw that with Instagram hit that comment, and I was like, oh, I wonder what this one is. And I was like, oh, yep, been there too. Man, I know I probably told this story. I'm pretty sure on one of the old episodes, and I'll just go ahead and say this real fast. There was one time where I was it was some hill jacks, and this guy was about 6'5" and probably weighed 100 pounds. And he had a pair of tighty whities on that weren't so tighty and they weren't so whitey. And I remember just looking at this dude like, dude, I should be delivering you some inshore right now and some fucking pants. But I forget what it was. It was a long time ago. And I think it was a signature required. But dude just answered the door, and I'm like, you don't feel a draft, you know? You don't feel a fucking draft like... You don't feel nothing. Some wind on your dick? Because, I mean, your dick and your balls are fucking right here. So, yeah, I feel you, Miller Gang.
God damn it. Oh, man. But, yeah, dude, that's all of them. Thank you to everybody who chimed in on this week's question.
Yeah, appreciate that. That was a good turnout there.
Hell yeah.
Appreciate you responding, man. Yeah. Keep it up. The question of the week, man. It's all God, that's nostalgia. Yes.
Let's go. So with that, ran over a little over an hour here on this one. An hour and 11 minutes currently. So
yeah, I kind of thought, I was like, I saw our docs.
I'm pretty sure that's all we have.
Yep, that's. I was like,
today.
Docs were full tonight. I figured this one was going to go a little bit longer.
Plus, who doesn't want to listen to more of us, huh?
Fucking A.
I'm just playing. I mean, I still think it's weird that people listen to us, but we appreciate you, especially California, man. California coming in huge with the downloads right now. I mean, shit. Yeah, I see these stats. Thank you, California.
Fucking A.
Wherever you are, listen, tell all your coworkers about us, all right? Because we got some fun shit happening soon. So stay tuned for the following episodes that are going to be coming up soon. Got some good shit in the pipeline, so can't wait, man.
Absolutely.
Can't wait. Please help spread the word about On the Delivery, guys. Tell your coworkers, tell your friends, tell your families. Just make sure they tell them that it's also explicit too. So, you know, we don't want anybody upset.
Yep.
Anyways, Luke, that's all we got, bud.
I think we're good, brother.
Absolutely. Everybody, enjoy your week. All right? We'll be back next week on another episode of On the Delivery. We'll catch you guys later.
Later, everybody.